Hello guys, and we are back again in the studio for another episode of Reality on Repeat. My name is Bertain, and I'm your host. I'm one of your hosts for the show.
Hey everyone, we are back again on Reality on Repeat. Your co-host right here, Dylan, and happy to be supported by you all.
Yep,
Having you guys watch our videos,
yep,
commenting,
yeah,
sharing our videos. It means a lot to us. So thank you
yeah.
very much. We are here again for another episode,
Another banger.
another banger. So let's dive into it.
Ah, all right, guys. Like I told you guys last time, I have a special guest for you guys, and trust me, this is this guy. We imported this guy. Like this is when they say you import, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we imported this guy, but thank God for us, we didn't have to pay the extra tariffs that have been.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
today in
But
the studio we have with us a smart, intelligent gentleman, a very knowledgeable person, Dr. Tim, all the way from the UK. Dr. Tim, welcome to Reality on Repeat.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's I've wanted to be on this for a while.
Yes,
It's
I
been
remember we've been talking about it.
an interesting show, and anybody who has watched any episode, I think will probably be interested to watch the next. And I hope this one is going to be as interesting as the other ones.
Yes, it will be.
And I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. We're also excited to have you on. Like you said, we've been talking about it for a while, like
Yeah.
for you to come on. But yeah, the good thing is you're here now. So
And about the tariffs, maybe I'll just be collecting those myself.
make sure the president does not hear you.
that man he is his own government,
Yep, yep. But guys, we're here today. Dr. Tim is with us, and we're about to dive into the episode. We're about to start with our icebreaker. We're about to give you guys another banger
Nabanga.
in Deland's voice.
You know.
And Deland is gonna be started with the icebreakers for today.
So, um, for the icebreaker, uh, so there is three of them,
Oh, okay.
right?
All right.
I'm gonna start with the first one.
Mhm.
So, would you rather chase your dream job or die alone, or settle in a safe relationship and never reach your full potential?
So would you rather game?
Why do I have a feeling I've been set up? I think it's an interesting one.
Mhm.
Whatever option you choose, you're in trouble. I think one of my biggest fears is not being able to reach my potential and achieving those things that I want to do for myself and leave like a trail or footsteps that other people can actually look and say, okay, this guy did great. I want to be like this person.
Yeah.
So if I want to choose between Deep Lucy and well, I think I want to get my full potential.
In it.
Yeah.
Well,
For me, um, I, I think I'll go with the full potential one. Yeah. And I mean, not that I don't want to settle down, but I've been I know over the years I've been kind of skeptical about settling down. So if I'm given both options, I just think it's gonna be an easier one for me to go with not settling down and just doing what I want to do in life and achieving my full potential.
Yeah, because it you feel important if you can't look back and be like, I did this. It's just like
But you're gonna be lonely. That's the downside.
lonely is relative. We all cry behind closed doors sometimes, don't we?
Sure, sure.
Well, for me, honestly, I will go with the second option. Because I think that, to me, I believe at the end of this, at the end of this life, it will not be the job, right? It will be the legacy that which you have had. And again, you could still argue that yes, that being at your full potential, it's you still achieving a legacy. It's you achieving a legacy in the lives of other people, right? For example, you are a doctor. It will be you being able to, having to save a dying patient, right? Or having to um choose a specific medication out of your own, just out of your own guts, that well,
Yeah.
this will do it for you, and then you'll be able to give that family happiness, and then whosoever that family member may be ends up living more years to come, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
again is the legacy. To me, it's that legacy is also, it's also to me family, right?
Yeah.
It's also me being at the end of this, being able to perhaps look at the family I have, who knows, maybe grandkids or whatnot, right? Or kids, and then be like, yeah, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't necessarily meet up my full potential, but yet again, I am still happy.
Yeah.
Right? It's like eating your cake and having it.
Exactly. Yeah.
To some degree.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with you. It's very important.
And so it's
Yeah.
kind of relative. Like it depends on and each person's situation. Like
Yes, relative, yeah,
what you
because
want to
again,
be in.
it's really, if you attain, when you attain your full potential,
Yeah.
you are obviously going to hit lives.
Yeah.
You're either going to hit those lives negatively, or you're going to impact those lives positively.
Positive.
Now,
Yeah.
it all depends now on the type of person you are, the caliber of the person you are.
Yeah.
And so that again ends up being, it's not a, I feel like it's not a one-way street. It's
Yeah.
not just a one-way
Yeah.
street. It could be either ways. It could go into multiple, several different parts, or
Yeah,
depending
yeah,
relatively on your
that's
character as a person.
that's true, yeah. And it
Yeah.
comes down to what's important to you.
Yeah,
you
true.
know. And like you said, man, we can go around in circles, but at the end of the day, family, boy.
I know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. But still, I think I'll still pick the career over the family first. I don't know. Maybe for me,
Yeah, maybe you
Yeah.
switch up someday.
maybe I'll switch up someday.
I
Or show me shake it.
Yeah, we'll give you some tequila to
Or someday maybe we might cheat a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, on the way to achieving that potential, you know,
Yeah.
while nobody's looking.
Mm.
You go behind something and
Yeah.
hide and get the family. You know, there's so many people that live two lives, and you only know that this person had two lives.
But
while-
if you have to strictly leave one, that's the problem there. Strictly leave one.
potential.
Thank you.
Alright, I'm gonna go with number 2. It is, would you rather cheat and never get caught, or be cheated on and never find out?
I think this is an easy one,
Why do you say that?
relatively.
Yeah.
You know, I'm one of the way the way I've set up myself and the way I choose to go around things, and I like to believe that I worry about things that I can control,
Mhm.
and the things that you can control are the things that you know. Would I rather cheat and not be caught, or be cheated on and get caught? Dude, you can do whatever you want. Let me not find out, because if I find out, just kill me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm on the same page with you, because listen, in as much as like you want to like be, if you're a thief and you never want to get caught, trust me, you never want to find out someone is stealing from you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's one thing I'll say.
Yeah.
I like, do whatever you want. Let me not find out. Like I don't want to be the fool in that relationship, because I'd rather find out and leave. But what you don't know is never gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
In
to
fact,
me,
let me be the fool as long as I don't know.
I don't know. Yes, that's what I'm gonna say. As long as I don't know, I'd rather be the fool in that situation because trust me, finding out that you've been cheated on, bro. If you've never found out that you've been cheated on, or your partner has played foul shit before, trust me, you wanna experience that one day.
Off camera. Anyways,
you didn't say it.
it hits different, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It hits different.
yeah.
Yeah, I do wholeheartedly agree with you guys. Right? It's better to not know that you are being stolen from, you know. It's better to have that cool feeling, to just have the cool head that
Yeah.
everything is fine.
Yeah,
Right? Again, like what Bado said, what you don't know cannot kill
cannot kill
Yeah.
you.
What you don't know cannot kill you.
Yep. So I'm going to go to the third one. Would you rather post a crying selfie every time you are sad, or be forced to announce every crush you have publicly?
Well, where do we start announcing the crush?
I know, right?
Who is the first crush
Social
to announce?
media.
Hello, crush number one. I've had a crush on you since president. Since we had Paul Biya as president.
I know, right?
Come on, crying selfie. Oh,
As a guy,
lock me up.
as
Put me in jail, man. With the crying one, sometimes when we know as men, if having for somebody to see your tears, it means
in a vulnerable state.
you've trusted that person so much that they can see that
part of you.
that part of you.
Yeah.
So you can be vulnerable around them like that. But man, if it's me posting a crying selfie,
Every time you're sad, it's not just one time.
lock me up. Send me to solitary confinement.
Yeah, I would go with number two, man. I will post all the crush. I don't care.
Really,
Rinse and repeat.
listen.
Yes.
I would like post even the ones that I don't even like. If I just admire you, I'll post it.
Yeah.
I'll post it because you will be the talk of the
Oh yeah.
The media.
Bro.
You'll
And
be
you-
the talk of the media.
and
Like
you
they
never
will-
know.
Like you said one time, so you're like baby.
Yeah.
You're going to be they're going to change the group chat. They're going to change their group chat into Timmy's crying selfie. And then they'll dissect you in their group chat. Bro.
And this
You be the talk of the day.
Oh.
And the crazy part is not just gonna be the female group chats, it's also gonna be the male group chats. Because for males, right? For us guys, it's the funny thing is we're just gonna laugh at it.
Yeah.
Because guys are just like that. They're
Yeah.
gonna laugh at it, but it's just gonna be like
But for the guys, too,
For the guys, it's just gonna be more fun.
Yeah.
going
they'll
to
probably
be
add you to it and laugh at it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends are going to use that for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
They'll use that for the next 10 years.
They'll
Yes.
roast you every time. And every time something happens, again, what's up again is when your team loses. Then they'll tell you that
They
why
imagine you
didn't you
crying.
post a crying selfie? None of your team
You're going
is
to
out.
you're going to be a sticker and a meme.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. No, but guys don't have any chill, especially like my friends. Imagine people who laugh at you when you get cheated on. If you get cheated on, they laugh at you. Talk less about you posting a crying selfie. You gonna get roasted, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, my guys, they do that all the time. They're like, for those of you who don't have, anyways.
All right, we're gonna move on to the last one. It's dilemma. Okay, so I'm gonna read it out. You're involved in a 2-car crash on your way to work one morning, in which you accidentally hit and kill a pedestrian. As you get out of the car, You are intercepted by a tearful woman who seems to think that she hit and killed the pedestrian. You're not sure why she thinks she hit the person, but she is convinced. There's only you, the woman, and the person you hit on the road. There are no witnesses. You know that whoever is deemed responsible will probably be sent to jail. What do you do?
Wow.
What do you do?
I mean, if we're going on being honest and being human and taking responsibility for our actions, which
Don't give
we
to-
rarely do,
Yes,
which or we never do,
yes.
you'd be like, well, I'll take responsibility and do stuff, but when it's like a window for you to get out of trouble. But at the same time, in that instance, I think adrenaline is going to push me to distance myself from that, and then the
Let
woman
her-
and let it play out the way she's come up with that, and it's just human nature in that situation of fight or flight.
Yeah.
Man, the first instinct, flight always comes up. You just want to run away and get away. Maybe subsequently you think about what happened and then you want to make amends or take responsibility. But in that instance, I think, dude, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Honestly, it will honestly haunt me all my life. If I
Yeah.
let the woman go down go down for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though it will be the beneficiary thing to do, my own
Mhm.
end, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ethically and morally, it would just be playing on in my head. So,
Yeah.
I would take my chances into admitting that, well, I did it, and hopefully, God helps me
Yeah.
get out of
That's-
it. Honestly, being it's just me again. It's me again being sleeping at night and then being like, well, that lady went to jail because of me.
Because of you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
playing in my head. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You
Yeah.
know, it's yeah, I think sometimes we make decisions in the moment that
oh yeah,
more often than not are not the right ones.
oh true. Mm-hmm.
You know, with everything that is happened with the pressure, with the anxiety and the flow of adrenaline and everything that is happening,
Yeah.
the initial reaction will be to just run.
Run.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. That it's a very difficult scenario, especially when you don't find yourself exactly like this is hypothetically, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly how you're gonna react because you could probably do the right thing and take the fall for what you did. But in that situation as well, you could probably do something else,
Mm-hmm.
which you won't know until you actually find yourself in that situation.
In that situation, yeah.
But one thing you need to understand is first, you've killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't take the fall for what you did and you've done in that situation and someone else goes to jail on your behalf, now you have to live with the fact that you've killed someone
Mm-hmm.
and you're not paying for it, and you've sent an innocent person to jail and you're not paying for it. Are you going to be able to cope with that for the rest of your life?
Not.
Exactly. But if you take the fall for what you did and you're truly remorse, yes, it's still gonna like hurt and haunt you by the fact that you killed someone.
Mm-hmm.
But with time, you're gonna get over the fact that actually you did something. Someone was willing to take the fall for you, but you
Mhm.
stepped in and you were actually sorry for what you did and you took the fall for what you did.
Mhm.
That's gonna give you some sort of, it's never gonna bring back the person, it's never gonna change what happened, but it's also gonna give you some sort of comfort that you're actually paying for what you did.
Yeah, it's going to haunt you either way.
Either ways, it's going to haunt you.
At
But
least you know you've taken responsibility for your actions
to an extent,
and then somebody is not paying for what you did.
yeah,
And I think these movies deceive us in situations like that. But I think yeah, like you rightly said, it's just doing the just being human, doing the basic,
when no one is watching. Do the right
yeah,
thing when no
do
one
the
is
right thing
watching.
when no one is watching. It's
Yeah.
just basic human decency to take responsibility
Integrity.
for your actions and face the consequences of what you did. It's the third law of nature. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It happens whenever we see whatever you do. There's always going to be a consequence, and that consequence is either positive or negative. We always want to have the positive ones. Nobody wants the negative ones, but then we have to be ready for
Yeah.
whatever case we find ourselves in.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that was a little cool icebreaker. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh yes, I think that the icebreaker is probably my favorite part.
Really?
You know, with icebreakers, you're not sure what to expect.
What to expect? Yeah.
And then you just get these things that you have to think in the moment,
Yeah.
and how quick you think or not determines how people perceive you. And sometimes you think and you talk and you're like, oh shit,
Nah, just
what did I,
what did I say?
What did I just say? And it's out there.
Yeah.
People have heard that, and they know that your mentality,
Yeah.
which might not be the case, and then you spend the rest of the time cleaning up your mess,
Yeah. Explaining yourself.
explaining
Yeah.
yourself, and doing damage control,
Yeah.
which never works.
Some of the dilemmas too are really good. I remember I was following a lecture on YouTube one time, and this professor guy brought up a dilemma. He said it was in the nature of about, I believe it was 10 people are stuck in a boat. Are stuck in a boat in the middle of the sea. They do not have food. But then again, they can essentially kill one person and then feed on that person. And by killing that person, it will be enough food for them to be able to sail up to the next surface onto the next area of land. Or they can as well not kill that person, and then all 10 of them take their chances at dying. So it ends up being, do we just kill that one person and then the 9 of us survive, or do we all die down there? So it's dilemmas do tend to be really tricky.
Yeah, it's
A
quite
lot
tricky.
of ethical and morality being toasted into it at the same time. It's like, where do I go? Do I save myself?
Yeah,
Or do I
it's
do what is right?
basically,
And
yeah, that's right. And like even in the job that we do, we find
Yeah.
ourselves in situations like that quite often.
Mhm.
And a lot of questions like that come up. I remember this time where we had this discussion where somebody said, you have a patient and the guy comes to the office and you do the checks and stuff, and this guy is HIV positive.
Yeah.
And then on your way home, you see the guy walking down the street with your daughter. Do you tell your daughter that this guy's got HIV?
HIPAA violation.
HIPAA violation, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself in those situations where morally you're pushed to do this. Ethically, you've got some restrictions. Legally, you've also got restrictions. And then you find yourself in an impossible situation that you have absolutely no idea
What to do.
what to do. And these things, they come up all the time, and it's quite often that people actually think. And in real life, we find ourselves in that. I think every single day you
I
find
don't
yourself
know
in a
how-
situation
I
where
know
you have
it's
to-
like a HIPAA violation, but I'll be tempted
But
to
in
tell
real
my
life,
daughter.
yeah.
I can't. I don't. Like, honestly, I'm just saying it like it's a HIPAA violation. I was in nursing school. Like, I didn't finish it because I went another route. Guess, but if I'm in that situation, I'm just gonna say it. I'm telling my daughter. Guess.
Mhm.
I don't know about anybody else out there, but I'm doing it.
But like, well, it was nice being a doctor. I think now it's time to be a permanent father and not a doctor anymore.
True.
That was a
But
good one.
yeah. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. I mean, we've talking about like career, you doctor and stuff. I mean, are you married? I'm gonna
No.
put you on blast.
You know, the interesting thing about this question is this afternoon I was having this discussion with my mom,
Yeah.
and this came up, and I was basically begging her. I was like, Mom, I was there with one of my other cousins, and it's as if they held a meeting and decided
Then they
to do
pulled
a
you in.
group call.
Yeah.
And they were just saying all these things. I was like, Mommy, do you remember the other time when you and your husband were telling me that if I bring somebody from A, B, C, D, and E, you people are not going to accept? I was just like, no, 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 no. I don't care.
Just bring anybody.
Just bring anybody.
But you need to bring anybody, doctor. Like all of this money you want to keep spending on your own.
Well, the only thing that is better than money is more money.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not married. I want to be married someday.
Yeah.
I love family. I want to have my own family someday. You know, I want to have that. Like he was saying, he was going to pick the legacy of family, and I think that's what everybody wants. There's a few people who don't want that, but I'm a big, huge family fan, and that's something that I'm looking forward to. They say God's time is the best, and we're waiting for a sign.
But I know we talked about because the first question for our would you rather was attaining your full potential with your career and living a lonely life, or getting married and settling down. So this is, I mean, obviously it's what we're gonna talk about. Like, is you picking your career over your family? Is it being selfish? Or what's your opinion on that?
I think it's one of those things where you don't have absolutes. It's ifs and maybes. There's a lot of ifs and maybes, and I think it comes down to how you communicate whatever decision you choose. You choose whatever you choose to do. I like what I do. I want to get to the highest point of my career, and I don't think that it's going to stop me or slow me down when it comes to building a family.
Yeah.
And me picking this path, I don't think it's selfish. Because one, it helps me to get to where I want to get to my potential. At the same time, it puts me in a position where I'm better placed to look after my family better. You know, I can give them more. And one thing I tell my friends is I want to put myself in a position where I'll be able to give my family more than what I had. And if I can get to that point, then I know I've succeeded. And coming to being selfish or not, it just depends on how this decision or these plans are communicated.
Yeah.
If you've got a family, if you've got a partner, and you want to do that, you just have to talk that out with them. You're like, all right, this is what I want to do. And sometimes when you communicate this to them, they're even supportive to you. Like they're like, yeah, I think it's great. I'm with you. And they give you that push to be able to do more and push to get more. If you making that decision comes at the expense of your family or the people around you, some people might think it's selfish. I think it might be a bit selfish at that point, where you don't care about other people.
But you care about yourself.
You care about yourself. You're like, well, whatever you guys say or do, that's your business.
Yeah.
I've made up my mind. This is what I'm going to do. That's selfish because you're not considering how that decision is going to affect those people that you've got around you. So it's important that you put everything on the table. You weigh everything out. You find that balance. Like, this thing I'm going to do, how is it going to affect the people in my life? How is it going to affect my family? How is it going to affect my partner? How is it going to affect my children and stuff like that. And if you can find that balance and strike a balance between that, it's going to be more of a supportive and a celebratory type thing, rather than one where you people are going to be fighting over. I think that's what I think.
Well, I think first off, I'm just. Do you want to say something before I go ahead?
Yeah, so I mean that was very interesting though. I mean as immigrants, we do not have a safety net. It's always we it's you cannot there is just no alternative for you to fall back to, right?
Yeah.
For example, if you came from a rich family and then you probably were like, okay, um maybe I should go to school, or maybe I should go get a career before I settle down. And you start the career, and then somewhere in the middle, it doesn't work out for you. Well, you're like, okay, well, my dad got investments for me, or he got a company, or my parents are good, or they have some money that I can manage, and then I will be fine.
Yeah.
And so I can safely abandon that route. But when we do not have safety nets, when it's only that one way street, it ends up being I need to get this career done before I can settle down. So in your opinion, what do you define as success? Do you define success at it being that you having that career goal, right? Or do you define that success being something along the lines of let's say perhaps you did not achieve that career goal, but then you were able to um, get that level of family bonding, or you're able to achieve that plateau of
Yeah.
family bonding. Which one do you define as success?
I think to me, I have what I've always thought would be a success to me is, like I said earlier, being able to put myself in the position where I can look after my family
Yeah.
and give them more than what I had.
Mhm.
I don't have to be the Surgeon General, for example. I think I'm in a position where I can do that.
Yeah.
And now, what's left for me to say, okay, I've had a successful life, it's the family side of it.
Yeah.
So if I can have that, my family, and we have that bond, like you said, we have a happy family where everybody is comfortable, everybody is happy, everybody is happy with what they've got. Everybody
Yeah.
has some. I have like a plan set up for everyone, and there is a clear path for them to succeed in whatever they want to do. Then I would say that's success for me. It's not necessarily how high I go in my career. No, it's more of where I put myself and how what I do and how I'm able to look after my family. I think for me, that's what I would consider success at this point in time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. But yeah, and you also know, like you mentioned to your mom was talking about you being able to start a family and then bringing anybody at this point. Um, so and they too were able to start it from younger ages,
Yeah.
right? They were able to marry young, but some of them 18, 19,
Yeah.
others even below the 18-year-old mark. Do you think that they are going to see it as you being selfish by you choosing to prioritize your career over over starting a family earlier, or do you think at
I
some
don't
point
think
they'll
he
balance
said.
it
I
out?
don't think he said he's prioritizing his family.
I'm not prioritizing my career.
It's just.
I think it's just with we've all experienced different things. We've
Yeah.
all seen different shades of stuff, which we're not going to get into. And for my mom, for example, my mom does not think I'm selfish.
Okay.
So I used to be the one who never introduced anybody to her.
Yeah.
And
And she probably wanted to know.
yeah, and if I introduce somebody to her, my mom knows, yeah, this dude is serious. If I've probably introduced 2 people to my mom.
Where they at? What happened to them?
What happened to them? You broke their hearts? Or they broke yours?
Is there an option to plead the fifth?
Anyways. Yeah, we need to get a
Things
constitution.
probably did not work out
Okay.
the way we planned it to for different reasons. Maybe
Mhm.
me, maybe them. We're not going
Yeah.
to get into
You played the
details.
field.
Yeah, but I think she knows that it's something I want to do. She's not putting me so much pressure because she believes that I've got that figured out.
Yeah.
She believes that I know what I'm doing, which is not always true because sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to lie.
At the end of the day, you're still her baby.
I'm still her baby. She'll
Yeah.
still call me. She's still going to throw shades at me. My younger brother got engaged a few months ago,
Mm.
and that's been the source of my trouble. But
What are you waiting for?
what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And everybody keep asking me that, and I think we don't want a situation where because you're desperate to have a family of your own, you end up somewhere where
You're not supposed to be.
you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because I think as a man, you not want to end up where you're not happy.
True.
Sometimes we are deceived by the fleeting feelings of the moment, and then you think, oh yeah, this is it, and then
Mhm.
2, 3, 4, 5 months, you're like, nah,
This ain't it.
this is my suicide note.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that situation. Sometimes we fuck up more often than not.
Yeah.
We do all these things, but eventually we just want to find that safe space, like you said.
Yeah.
That safe space, that space where you can go to work and
come
you're
back
excited to come
go
back
back
home.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to work. You're working in New York, and then you live in Queens, and then you leave work and you're going towards New Jersey. Nah,
I know, right?
we don't want that.
But yeah, I kind of agree with a lot of things that you said. Primarily, I think I'm the type of person that will probably, I say it again all the time, like I'll probably pick my career over like the relationship. There's a lot of reasons to that, obviously. Some of it which you mentioned,
Mhm.
yeah, but I just think that first of all, one of the reasons why it's selfish, but to an extent, it's not, because we live in a society where, as a man, right?
Mhm.
Because this is probably gonna depend, like it's gonna be based on what situation you find yourself in.
Mhm.
But as a man, having a family without having a career or making money
Yeah.
is probably one of the worst decisions you could make in
Yeah.
this day and age right now.
Mhm.
Why? Because you're gonna get disrespected first by you, and it's not always gonna be the situation.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna be the case in every situation, but you probably get disrespected by your woman
Mhm.
if you can afford certain things. She's gonna look at you as if you're not man enough.
Mhm.
Her friends, maybe her family, all of that influence is gonna come in. And then you could even get disrespected by your own kids when they grow up. Trust me. So I definitely would understand with a man who says, okay, I want to have a career first
Mhm.
before I can bring someone in, or I would rather have a career and not have anyone,
Yeah.
because I don't want to have someone in my life and then that turns out to be one of the worst decisions that I make
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
So it's selfish, but at the end of the day, still, as there could be a valid reason as to why
Yeah,
you choose
yeah.
a career
Yeah.
over family. And I
Yeah,
don't know if I
I
should
mean,
even say
I think it's
selfish.
it's right. It's not invariably selfish, to be honest. like you said, when it comes to the disrespect side of it,
Yeah.
every single man that I know, including myself, I can take everything. You can insult me, you can tell me whatever you want, you can say whatever you want to me. But where the line is, it's disrespect.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of the worst things you could probably do to a man. Disrespect. him.
Yeah. If you disrespect me, trust me, there is no way in hell I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for me, that's the line. You disrespect me. Because if you disrespect me, you're basically questioning my existence.
Yeah.
You're questioning every single thing I stand for as a human,
Yeah.
as a man,
Yeah.
and as the person that is supposed to be leading this family. So if you disrespect me, I'm going away and I'm never coming
Never
back.
coming back. Yeah. True. And another thing is, I know you were kind of talking about it, but I'm just gonna call it out, like not beat around the bush. Obviously, sometimes it has to do with like people's past experiences with relationships.
Yeah.
Like someone like me, right? I've always been this type of person where I say like, I don't know if I'll get married. Okay, not because I don't want to get married, but because like I know there's situations where I'm the problem, the one who's a problem. Maybe I just can't deal with it, you know.
We are more
like-
we are more the problems than
Yes, but like relationships nowadays are just like very tough. I want to put it that way. It requires a lot, and I think a lot of us, myself inclusive, we're not ready to give that much.
Mhm.
So people find themselves in situations like that and just like, I know I don't want a relationship. I'd rather just focus on my career. And it's not just guys. Now this is where I will talk about females as well. Because nowadays ladies feel like, and I'm not even saying they are wrong for deciding to do that. I just feel like some do it to an extreme. But some ladies will be like, I don't need a man for anything. I'd rather go to school, be what I want to be, make my money, and then if I want a man, that's going to be my decision because of how some men treat some ladies when they have money and those ladies don't have money.
Mhm.
So in a situation like that, while we can see it like it's selfish because for a traditional marriage setting,
Yeah.
the man has to make money and come to get married to a woman. But a man could probably make money and want to get married to a woman or lady and have kids, but the lady will be like, no, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to depend on you. I want to go to
Yeah.
school. I want to make my own money. While that could look selfish, which probably is, I don't blame certain females in such situations because of how men treat ladies in certain situations. For me, if I want to be with a lady, hopefully, but tomorrow, if I want to be with a lady, I want to be with a lady who can make hers as well.
Yeah.
Because you never know tomorrow, regardless of how good the relationship. If I'm not in a situation where, okay, I can provide for the family, I want to have a woman who can support me. Or
Yeah.
let's say, God forbid, we have kids and I'm no longer there tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want a woman who can be able to stay back and look after my kids on her own. I don't want a woman who's gonna have to go for food stamps and stuff.
Yeah.
But some men can feel intimidated by women who make money. So
Yeah. There's quite a lot of a lot of men out there who are intimidated by women who are doing good for themselves, and there's just been that shift. It's a whole paradigm shift, to be honest. Looking at many years ago, what's happening now, the the influence of social media, what our individual goals and aspirations are. I think when because the world has become more receptive to individual goals, individual aspirations,
Yeah.
individual plans,
Mhm.
and making it possible for everybody to be able to achieve those things for themselves, it kind of just creates that shift where nobody wants to depend on another person. And like you said, man, I don't want to go tomorrow and then your kids on the street
Yeah.
begging and things like that, or
Yeah.
nah, it's going to be too much. And like you said, I understand what you're saying,
Mhm.
and I'm sure Dylan is going to be a pro family, like myself,
I mean,
and you're going to be one of my my groomsmen.
weapon fashion against you.
Yeah, so you're going to be there. You're going to watch it happen, and when you watch it happen, I'm going to convince you and change your mind. And once that's done, I'm going to add it on.
Just know that
My
when she
checklist.
gives me headache, I will call you to come and deal with it. Because yeah, I will tell you right now. Because even my family, they will pressure. If I always tell them, if you guys should not pressure me to get married, because you guys are not the one dealing with the headache. I'm the one dealing with the headache. You know.
Yeah.
I'm the one dealing with the headache. I'm the one who knows where I'm the one putting on the shoe, so I know where it hurts. So don't pressure me. Let me take my time. But Delan, what's your opinion on the whole thing, right?
Well, I mean, like I said again from the beginning, right?
Mhm.
It will be at the end of this life, right? Because at the end of this life, again, it will not be about your career.
Yeah.
It will not be about you having to run away from nursing school and then finding yourself where you are today.
Where am
right?
I today?
I mean, you find yourself out
In front of a mic.
in front of a mic. So
But
it will not be
at
that.
least you're not doing this track, so
Yeah, that will be when you look back. It will not be these moments, right? It will be again about what's the family that you have constructed at that point, right? But then again, I also do understand us wanting to succeed in our careers. Again, no, none of us I mean in this country or are in the UK. Like none of us got there and wanting to be relaxed or wanting
Yeah.
I want to
relax.
I want to relax. So I want to relax.
We all
but the
want to
problem is
relax.
that-
Here's the thing.
We've not got it. We've not have.
Yeah.
We don't really have that luxury.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's true.
to relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that luxury.
Because when you hop on that plane to come over here, your mind wasn't I want to relax. Your mind was I want to work, I want to make as much money as possible, right?
Yeah.
As much money as I can. And so that decision again, coupled with pressure from back home,
yeah,
pressure from our immigrant society over here, it ends up essentially putting you into that mentality. Okay, that career is first,
Yeah.
right? That career needs to work.
Yeah.
Because that career doesn't work, guess what? Any other thing will fail. Yeah.
yeah.
Any other thing down the road will fail. So, it's my take on it. I mean, it's not a one-way street. Again, it could be either or, right? You could
Yeah.
you could still in the middle of that career still find someone good, and then it ends up being happily ever after. But
Yeah,
then
exactly.
the chances are slim.
It's as good as you want it to be. To be honest, it's a very wide gray area where anything can happen.
Yeah.
You don't know who is going to change your mind. You don't know who is going to, because this thing, I would say you don't know who you're going to meet, and then that will make you want to get married. At the same time, you might meet somebody that will give you more reasons why you would never want to get married. But
That's true.
at the same time, it's who you meet, how you guys work out, depending on what you want in life or what your convictions are, and what you decide to do with that opportunity that you get. And to be honest, you have the power to shape wherever your life is going to.
Yeah.
In that aspect, not always in money, because if I had the power to shape where my life would be in terms of money, I'll probably
You'd be chilling on the
attending the meeting in Donald Trump's office tomorrow with the other billionaires. But
there's a billionaire meeting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been following.
I think I've been following too many billionaires lately for somebody who, anyways,
Aspiring billionaire.
Aspiring billionaire. Even in my next life, I'm going to be a billionaire.
Yes.
That I know.
Okay.
It's things like that. We meet people that change the way we see things.
Yeah.
I've met people that have given me 100 reasons why I should have a family.
Mhm.
And for some reason, we always find a way to
Escape it.
fuck things up. Excuse my French. I've met people that will give you 100 reasons why you should just mind your business and be alone.
Yeah, and you probably went with that one.
And then you find yourself in the middle. What should I do with my life? And there is this default. There is this thing that we do by default, we guys.
Yeah.
You know, when you find yourself in that situation, you fall back to what your mom would always say: God's time is the best. That's the default. You know, when everything goes and you're like, well, if it was supposed to happen,
It would have happened.
it would have happened.
Yeah.
So God's time is the best.
Yeah.
My default is I'm waiting for a sign.
You're waiting for the right person.
A sign.
Oh, it says okay. So it's not, the right person is there.
I'm
But
like,
you're waiting for the sign.
Dear God, show me a sign. Whatever the sign is, we don't know. That's a very convenient escape.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a sign, but I mean, in reality, it's just who you meet, how you shape how your relationship with that person is.
Mhm.
If you're intentional about what you want and you're intentional about where you want to get to, I think you actually work hard to move things towards that direction.
That direction, yeah.
That is for me, who is pro family. I've not always done that, I know. And for you, who is,
okay.
I'm not saying pro family like you're not. I know you're skeptical. You're skeptical about settling down.
That makes
I know.
That sounds better.
Yeah,
That
you're
sounds
skeptical
better.
about settling down, and like you said, it's all shaped
You know,
by our
as,
experiences.
Yeah.
you know, as they will say, he's having cold feet.
Yes, he's having cold feet.
He's having cold
I don't know
feet.
who you've been meeting in your life. I don't know the type of relationships you've been having. If you've had the type of relationships I've had, dude, you want to get married tomorrow.
I think right. Okay, let me clarify this, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys are taking it in another direction, and I don't like the way you guys are coming at me left, right. But
We're putting you on the spot.
We're putting you on the
putting me
spot.
on the spot. Yeah.
It's
But
called hot seat.
yeah, my seat is
Yeah,
probably
check it.
cooking right now. But yeah, what I'm saying is right. It's not that I don't want to have, because trust me, I want to have. Sometimes I'm just like, maybe I should just get someone pregnant and have kids, because I love kids. Like, that's one thing
Me
that
too.
you can't. I don't know. You can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
I love kids. But the reason why I'm say I'm scared to have my own kids is not because I'm scared of having kids or I don't want kids, but because I'm scared of having my own kid with the wrong person.
Yeah.
I'm being extremely cautious, and
yes.
I know that I sometimes I say that might get me in trouble. Like, when you get too extremely cautious, you might actually have it with the wrong person.
Oh yeah.
But that's the reason why I'm scared of having kids. I'm scared of having a family, and it's not just because of what I've experienced. Partly it's due to, because I think all of us have experienced one or two things in relationships that we've probably been like, okay, maybe I shouldn't even, like, you've seen Shaggy.
Oh.
You've seen your own share of Shaggy.
Oh.
That will probably make you be like, okay, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
But it's also the things that I see out there
Yeah.
with people in relationships, people who claim that they love each other and stuff like that. Things that I've seen, like, firsthand.
Oh yeah. I've seen.
It scares me.
Yeah. That's my.
So I'm just like, I don't want to find myself in that situation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I did this when I was doing my master's. I worked on this project where we were looking at we work with male victims of domestic violence.
Yeah.
You know, with domestic violence, more than 90% or more, it's women that
report the cases.
Are the ones that suffer from
the victims.
The victims. But there is that 6 to 10% that are men that are ignored. Mm-hmm. So we did this project where we worked with them, just trying to assess, look at what they went through, how they are recovering from stuff like that. And you get to a point where you're like, what if I find myself in a position where you've got this woman that it's physically violent or verbally violent or emotionally violent.
Yeah.
Some of them, they have PhDs in gaslighting,
Yeah.
What if you find yourself in that situation? And it's quite scary.
It is.
Looking at what those guys were going through, some of them were in therapy because of that. It's quite scary. And then it just raises all these questions. You're like, do I want to, or like you said, you don't want to end up in a situation where you're looking over your shoulder. You're like, what if this woman is here?
Yeah.
Man, we are men. We know what we want.
Yes.
You just want to put your head on, and then, yeah, it's a scary thing out there, and at the end of the day, man, it comes down to what we want. And yeah.
And the craziest thing with domestic violence when it relates to men, it's like no one is paying attention, right?
Nobody.
Yeah.
It's like as a man, you need some degree of burden of proof for them to actually believe that it is happening to you. I actually watched a video on Instagram the other day, and so it was a lady and then a man in the streets. And the lady kept on harassing the guy. She was pushing him, she was insulting him, she was saying all sorts of just calling him all sorts of derogatory terms, right? For a solid good 2 minutes to 3 minutes, and no one cared. Like, many of the women out seeing that were just laughing. The men were just looking at it. Like, no one actually approached a woman and was like, you need to stop. People will walk by, they will see them, they will laugh, others would chuckle, and it continued.
Yeah.
And so they flipped it to where the man essentially started pushing back on the lady. He was like, stop this. He was pushing back on her. He was insulting her and saying all these crazy things too. And not up to 30 seconds into it, you had a bunch of people rally up around the man. It was men, it was women, and they were like, you have to stop. You need to stop doing it.
Yeah.
But they just literally witnessed the reverse happen. But then nobody said anything. So that too is scary.
Yeah.
That too. And if that is the outcome in public, then how about the outcome in private?
Outcome in private,
In
yeah.
private, yeah. And you end up having a situation where even if you end up being the one having to call law enforcement, or even if you end up having the one to seek for refuge, you might end up going down for something you didn't do.
Yeah.
Right? Just because the woman is just wants to get you, or just wants to take you out of the way.
Just wants to take you out, yeah.
And won't think of the best of ways to do it than to essentially destroy your life. So,
and it reflects in like what the work that we did with those men. And when we did that work, we noticed that for men, for example, the one reason why men did not speak up was because of things like that, victim shaming.
Yeah.
There is so many women that are experiencing domestic violence that don't speak up because they are scared about victim shaming.
Yeah.
We find ourselves in a society where people just have all these crazy ideas when it comes to violence. For example, for men, there was a video where there was a man that was raped, and the comment under from men was like, Baba, how can you be complaining. This is what we're looking for.
This
You know,
people.
not everybody is like that, and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. Nobody will speak up.
Yeah.
There are kids, there are boys that have been molested by older women, but they cannot speak up
That's
because
true. A lot.
there's a lot of victim shaming.
A lot.
There is men that have been molested by both men and
Men.
women,
Yes.
Mhm.
I was about to say
but they
that too.
cannot speak up because of victim shaming. Nobody believes them, and psychologically, it's not easy. And then come now to homes, to families, where there are wives that molest their husbands.
Mhm.
There is more husbands that molest
Molest
the
their wives,
wives, but there is
obviously,
that small proportion of wives that molest their husbands. We see all these videos every day, and you ask yourself, is this what I want
I
to
want
be?
to find myself.
Is this where I want to find myself? And we, men, women alike, we've mastered the art of hiding our true selves in what people call talking stages and stuff, which I think it's just absolute rubbish. And you find when you eventually get to know them, then you discover what you've been dealing with. And for some people, they hide it up to when they get married, and then you go home and you discover
Yeah.
that what you took home is your village people.
That's why during the last episode I talked about moving in with your partner before getting married. Because that's the only way. I know like some could still mask it, but there's a
Mhm.
high probability that you're gonna find out
Mhm.
one or two things that in as much as you might be like, okay, maybe I can still deal with it, but you have that
Mhm.
knowledge ahead of time that this is how this person is before you guys get married. But some people just leave apart, and then you have that person hide all their dirty laundry, hide all their bad habits, their bad characters, and then once you guys get married, you move in, and then that's when you start
You start finding out things.
finding out
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And-
whereas if you guys live together before then, you get the opportunity to find out about those stuff,
Mhm.
and then you can be like, okay, am I gonna go through with this, or am I
Yeah.
not gonna go through with this? Yeah, my friends usually laugh at me because I'm like, I take a lot of time in the talking stage. I don't know why, because to me that's like I don't want to rush into something that okay, I'll be like, okay.
I think talking stage is a scam.
What
You
you
think
say?
so
What
too?
you say is a scam? What do you mean?
This guy.
Tell us more.
I think talking stage is a scam. This is the reason so many people would disagree.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
If I've had this discussion with anybody, there's a word I call it. I say it's a period of conditioned lies telling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nah, I
it's-
get where you're going.
yeah, it's a period of conditioned
I saw
lies
that coming.
telling.
I saw
Yeah.
that coming.
Yes. Because the truth is, everybody is going to be in their best behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's things that people they are going to absorb stuff and behave as if it's okay.
Yeah.
You do all your rubbish, you do all your crazy stuff and all your madness, and they'll
Especially if you're the
absorb
lady.
it.
I
Yeah.
love it. You're
And
gonna
they'll
the guy will be
absorb
like,
it,
I
like,
love it.
I don't really mind.
No, I don't mind. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's all lies.
Yeah.
It's all lies.
The girl be like that. Yeah, she doesn't.
I don't
eat this, she
care. I
doesn't
don't
eat
mind. I've
this,
seen this. I don't do this. I
yeah.
don't this. But
Yeah.
when you guys go that step further,
And you
Yeah.
had the forbidden fruit.
and then that's where
Yes.
all hell will break loose. You'll be like, 2 weeks ago you told me you were fine with this. We're like, what? But that was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago. I've
You know,
changed.
Yeah. So that's why I don't know. I'll die on that hill. Talking stage.
That's why I said.
It's a scam.
That's why I said I take long for talking stage because it gives me the opportunity to actually like
Give them the chance to
give
slip
them the
up.
chance to slip up. Yeah, to slip up. I like because everybody. You don't expect to be talking to someone for the next 2 weeks and then they start showing you everything. You even the month, even you're probably not gonna see anything.
Yeah.
I don't
But the
know
thing
because for me,
is-
I can pretend for like 2-3 months
I
with
can
someone.
pretend for a year.
But the
I
thing
can,
is,
yeah, I can even pretend for a year.
yeah.
But not everybody's good at that. Yeah, kudos to you if you can pretend for a year. You might. That's where I might not see it, but
yeah.
it's for me. I'm gonna speak because I'm a guy. I can't speak for guys. I can't speak for ladies because I've been with ladies. It's easier for you to trigger a lady and see the other side of her. So I know that at some point I'm gonna see that. Sometimes I might like you to afford and just be like, okay, I don't really care. I'm just gonna move forward. But yeah.
Yeah, this is going to get me into a lot of trouble, but I had to say
The talking stage thing.
I mean, you could put that it also you also know like it also has to do with a lot of attention span. You know, you probably start talk to someone today and what was within 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you meet another person and then boom, your attention has shifted.
Yes.
And then boom, you so usually guys they will keep it as like one of my friends would say that at times you treat it as McDonald's fry. As idiot.
Chick-fil-A fries.
As Chick-fil-A fries.
Chick-fil-A fries.
As idiot.
as idiot. Yeah, as idiot. Yeah.
As idiot.
As idiot. You know, Chick-fil-A fries, once it gets cold, you can't eat it again.
Yeah,
right?
you can hit it again. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. So you need to you hit the iron
As in the
while
hot.
it's still hot.
While it's still hot.
Yes.
Yeah. You eat it
So
while
that,
it's still
so
hot.
by the time you are beginning to figure each other, you probably would have long moved on by then. You know.
Yeah, but he's talking about the attention. Are we the generation where we're looking more for like attention instead of like real intimacy?
I think we are, because deep down we want that intimacy.
Yeah.
Deep down, when I look, if I use myself as an example,
Mhm.
deep down I want that intimacy. You want that situation where you come back and there is that one person that you can just
You can just go into.
and just
You can just
pour
be
it out
vulnerable.
and be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But now nobody wants to be that committed. Nobody wants to get to that point, because intimacy, it's deeper than just the attention.
Mhm.
With the attention, yeah, I'm an attention freak. Give me the, in fact, I need you in my space.
Yeah.
You know, I need to know that you're thinking about me, for example.
Yeah.
Give me that attention then. But how ready are we to get to that level of commitment that you can take it a step further to want to be vulnerable with that person?
That person. Yeah.
And with the way we are now, like from what you said earlier, it's very tricky putting yourself in that position. It's very, very tricky.
It is.
You don't know what to expect.
It is.
And you find I don't want to find myself in a situation where like I say, they say a problem shared is half solved,
Problem solved.
but my version is a problem shared is just for other people to talk about you and your troubles. You know, I don't want to find myself in that situation. I want to find myself in that situation where, in as much as I want you to give me that attention, at the same time I want you to be my safety net.
Safe space.
A safe space. But how much work am I willing to put in to get to that point where you are that safe space? With us men, coming to attention span, it's very easy for us to shift our focus when we feel like something is not right.
Yeah.
We are not ready to stay, find out what's off, and see how we can deal with what's off.
I agree. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. By the time something is off,
quick to move on. Yeah.
That's my toxic trait.
I'm guilty of that.
If I can say that, because
I think, you know why? I think it's just the fact that we've dealt with that before. I'm just maybe speaking out of experience. Like, as guys, it's very easy for you to not want to fight for a female, for a lady, or for someone you think you love, or someone you actually love, especially if you've done that before and it didn't work out, and you look like a fool.
Yeah.
Because you're actually gonna look like a fool. Like, we talked about them putting you in their group chat.
Yeah.
Yes. if you find yourself in a situation where you really do love a female, you love a lady, and you're fighting for her love, but she doesn't want to be with you, and you keep on insisting, trust me, you are gonna be the talk of the group chat. You're gonna get laughed at, you're gonna get played at. So I feel like a lot of guys go through that phase and then they just be like, okay, I'm not gonna fight for another girl. I'm not gonna fight for another lady.
I'm not going through this
I'm
anymore.
not going through this anymore. I'm not gonna look like a fool anymore. So it's just easy for us to be like, F this and just move on real quick.
Yeah.
Well, I do agree with everything you have said, but when it gets to the level of intimacy and also attention, I do believe that it also stems from the fact that it's coming from an African home, right?
Yeah.
You are not, like, love is not expressed to you. Like, your parents didn't grow up, like, you didn't grow up telling your dad, or your dad didn't grow up telling you that, well, I love you, or your mom didn't grow up telling you that I love you, and all those
We never heard those words.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So by the time you get older, you begin to I guess seek for the attention, or you begin to actually seek for the intimacy, and end up conflicting it with attention. And the attention again is just a glimpse. It's just it's a time in space, right? It comes once you get it. Once you get it, you get whatever you want to get from it, and then boom, you move on.
Yeah.
There is no point to want to put in like more energy to essentially establish it, right? Like, you could literally meet someone. You could usually meet someone today. Meet someone today on Snapchat, and then boom, they have your attention, right? And then boom, you guys are talking. And then boom, by let's say about a week or two go by, or maybe about a day,
4
a day
hours.
or so go by, or maybe
4
about 4
hours
hours
later.
go by, right? You probably meet each other. You knock, and then once you knock, boom, it is all gone.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, or maybe it might be like for 2 weeks, or maybe 3 weeks, or like a month, and then you guys go out, and then you knock, and there is that feeling that, okay, maybe I'll do like this person, but then again, because it was just never established as a kid, right? Your parents didn't just say it to you.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult to really establish. It becomes difficult to really put it out there. It becomes difficult to actually like say it. And so you end up having people just kind of folding back into their shells, or not necessarily folding back into their shells, but perhaps making it much more difficult for the other person, and might end up doing things that they feel like are the right things to do, are the right things that are being done, but yet again they do not understand that it does affect the other person's emotions, it does affect the other person's feelings. And so it's unfortunately the generation where we are today, there is less emphasis on that intimacy part. Social media too being playing a huge factor into it.
Yeah.
Because people would tend to see, for example, they'll tend to see celebrities gifting their wives or gifting their girlfriends all the good, or they'll tend to see some of these women living good lives, and then they begin to essentially brand themselves to get to that point for the attention, not necessarily understanding all what that woman or what that couple had gone through, exactly, or happens behind the scenes, to be able to get to that level, to be able to get those products, how much tolerance they need to have, how much intimacy or how much love they needed to have in order to essentially build up that foundation of intimacy to then put out, to then be able to have those products that you currently see on social media. They think that it was probably gotten just by the attention, or it was probably gotten just by the couple of chat or the series of chats or the couple of weeks of chatting and doing this and doing and not understanding to the sacrifices too that were made in the background. So
Yeah, that's right.
that is what I think it is.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. And one thing that will align with myself and Bado is we are just so afraid of being vulnerable
True.
that we've drifted from that genuine connection to more of an attention seeking type, and it comes with the ego as well.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's a man thing. Women like attention, but when it comes to stuff like this, women they like that intimacy. A woman will
And
prefer,
they want you to be
they want you to be
too.
vulnerable. They want you to show that side of you to them.
But the thing is,
So many of them genuinely want you to do that because they actually care and they want to be there for you,
exactly,
that intimate moment. But because of our experiences and because of the things, you don't know
who you're getting with
who
deep
you're
down,
exactly.
because the person who did that thing to you before, you never expected it. Maybe you thought that person, the same person, you saw that person as the same person you're with right now, but they disappointed you. So when you look back at that scenario and you look at the person you're with right now, you find it difficult for you to let yourself be vulnerable to that person.
Yeah. It's like you've seen the script.
I've seen this before.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I know
this is happening again.
Yeah.
And for us, sometimes subconsciously we do that. We just have that mental block. And once anything is going towards the direction where it has to get you vulnerable, mentally you just block that. I know the women they get very frustrated with that because for them it's easy. It's natural for them to be vulnerable and put themselves in that position, and they expect you to reciprocate
it.
Like if you actually care about me, like they would say, if you care about me and you feel like and you want me to be there for you, then I need you to be that, to show me that side of you.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what is going on in your head. I want to understand what you're going through. I want to be able to support you. It's frustrating if I don't know what's happening and if I cannot support you. But at the same time, for us men, we think about that. It's not like we don't want to.
It. Yeah, we
want to, but at what expense? Do I want to be on a group chat? Be the topic of the group chat?
Yeah, the topic of the group chat. Are you gonna take that chance?
Yeah. Am I giving you content to use against me? Because I know somebody used.
Everything nowadays is content.
Yeah, everything is content.
Yeah.
You say something to somebody and you said that during a moment of vulnerability, and then some random day this person uses it to throw shade at you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I talk to you again, let me lose my voice.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. It affects people like that. It affects us like that. It makes it difficult for us to open up and put ourselves in that particular position to be able to be like, okay, yes, I trust you, I like you, I want to be with you. But then mentally, that side of me is locked somewhere. And you're like, if you really like me like you claim, then you're going to let me see that
vulnerable side.
That vulnerable side. I just want to understand what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
But it's with the way things are going now, it's one of those things where, like, one of the battles where you should choose not to fight because it's going to come naturally.
Yeah.
If we get to that point where I feel like I can confidently show you that side of me, you're going to see so much of it that you beg me to
You
stop.
beg me to stop, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It comes with time, I agree. It comes with time. Like
Yeah.
you have to earn it. And that's why a lot of ladies don't a lot of ladies you get with someone and it's like you expect everything to happen overnight.
Overnight, yeah.
It's like you expect everything to happen overnight. You expect him to tell you everything about his life, what he's doing. Like it's very normal, like you said, it's very normal for ladies because first of all, ladies like to talk.
Mhm.
A lady will want to give you that gist. She will talk and she will talk and she will tell you things that she didn't even want to tell you.
Mhm.
So they feel like they're letting you in, but it's very difficult for guys because especially when a guy for a guy to open up to a lady completely, he probably has to be with you for like 2 years. You might be with a guy 6 months and you think you know enough of that guy. Trust me, you
Don't know
don't.
shit.
It does not matter how much that guy tells you. You don't know enough about that guy. It will probably take at least 2 years for you to somewhat know him to an extent. But still at that point, there's still certain things about him that he's gonna safeguard.
He's going to safeguard.
It's gonna take a very long time for him to completely let himself be vulnerable to you.
To be able to say those things.
Yes, like for instance, sometimes it's like you said, we like those stuff. There's sometimes where I'm like, okay, I just want to go back, and then like she's the one to cuddle you. Sometimes you want to be the one to go back, like get under her skin.
And then you get home and like,
Yeah. But then you get on my like, do I really want to do this? Sometimes even you get on that it and then like 2 minutes later, something just flashes in your mind and you're like, nah, let me get out.
Nah,
And
let me
then
get out.
You
Yeah.
get out and you're like, let me cuddle her because you don't want to be in that situation where she's gonna be like, oh my man.
You're
Sometimes
there,
I
but
cuddle him.
mentally
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
there,
And you
but
kn-
physically you're there.
Yeah.
But like also too I mean like we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about men's ego, right?
Yeah.
That also plays a huge factor. Right? Is the stigma around your ego being bruised. Right? We grew up in African homes. Right? You never saw your dad apologize. You never saw your dad smile. It was always a straight face. Whether the world was coming down on him, or he was on top of the world.
He had the same face.
The same face, right? It doesn't matter whether it was the best time of the year. The picture was always the same. It was still the same face on the picture. The same. It was never a smile. So that ended up having to mold us into the type of people that we end up being that there are just some things that which I would just not tell you.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it is how, I just will not tell you. I'm not going to open my mouth, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind me being your safe space, right? I don't mind that if you have issues, you tell me and then we sort it out.
Yeah.
But then again, me opening up to you will be like, it will be bruising up my ego. It will be essentially me folding up to you. And that's why there's a vulnerability. Because that way I don't know how it's going to be perceived. Is it going to be perceived as okay, maybe I should respect him more or respect him less, or am I going to be seen as less of a man?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the time when you open up to some ladies and they will see you as less of a man.
Yeah.
And like wow, like
yeah.
it's like we are supposed to be robots. It's like we just cannot display hurt. Right? We are supposed to
absorb
everything. Yeah, we're supposed to be always emotionally stable.
Handle Aleman.
Yeah, handle Aleman.
Chop your matrix.
Yeah, chop your matrix.
I always chop my matrix.
Yes.
I ate my matrix in it.
Yeah. In it.
Yeah, so it's those things, right?
Yeah.
Even and you could even still be with someone for like 2 or 3 years, even for like 5 years, and then it just never happens.
It just never
Yeah,
happens.
never
Truth be
happens.
told, it just never
It
happens.
just because
Like-
they never get to that.
They never
point
get to
where
that level.
feel
They
like,
never get
yeah.
to that level.
or you don't
yeah.
show them enough.
You can show them, yeah. You can even like you can even be locked into marriage with someone, and something is happening. You confide in your friends. You are like, probably I need this sum of money, or maybe I need this, or maybe I need, or this is how it's going. But then again, the lady or who you are with just never happen. Just never knows that is actually what is happening.
What's happening?
Right,
Yeah.
so it's to me, I believe it's that.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, there's stories where people talk about, like, you see, like, ladies say they got married, they've been together with their man, and the whole time he's been in the closet, but you can never sense it.
You can never
Because,
sense it. Yeah.
men are just like that.
We know how to
They
conceal
know how
stuff.
to conceal
Yeah,
stuff.
conceal
Yeah.
stuff,
If a
yeah.
man doesn't want you to know something, you're not gonna know. If you find out something, most likely he just really didn't care if you found out about it. But if he really doesn't want you to find out, you won't find out.
And sometimes, yeah, as well. What some of them will not get is there is some things that would rather deal with by ourselves, and what they don't realize is the more you push
No.
to be involved or
involved.
to know, that's you basically pushing us away.
Away.
True.
Because we've been dealing with so many things from the start. I know it's selfish. I accept. I know, yes, we accept it is selfish, but it's just an accumulation of so many things, and you find yourself in that situation where you know that this person cares and they want to be there. They want to help. But it's something that you want to sort that out by yourself. It's something that you don't really want to. You don't want it out there at that time,
Yeah.
and then you communicate that, and they just want to. They keep pushing. Like for me, I know it's a bad. It's not always good. It's not a good thing all the time, but if you keep insisting and pushing, you're basically just doing that. Because I'm like,
pushing them away.
if I tell you that I've got this figured out, just let me deal with it.
Yeah.
You can bring it up some other time where we've passed that phase, and I'm going to give you the whole gist. You understand? You're going to understand everything that happened, because eventually we're going to talk about it, but sometimes it's not women, it's not all the time that we want to talk about stuff like that. If I'm like, okay, let me just deal with this for now, I'll let you know once I've sorted this.
As long as I'm not giving you an attitude about it, or I'm not making you feel a type of way.
Because of that. So if just let me deal with this.
Yeah.
And once I'm done with this, I'll bring you in. I'll bring you in.
Yeah.
Because man, it's you just sit sometimes and like, do I want to be in my own shoes? And like, no, absolutely not. And then, do I want to be in my shoes and another person's shoes at the same time? No, let me deal with one thing at a time, and then when we get to that bridge, we're going to cross it. I might be annoying now because I want to do this stuff by myself. I accept. I'll absorb everything, but just let me deal with this thing for now. It might seem selfish to you, but it's very important to me that I'm able to sort things out by myself.
Yeah.
Because people say we are moving away from the patriarchal type society or ideology where men are problem solvers and they want to do things by themselves. It's genetics.
It is.
It's genetics.
It is.
We are problem solvers. It's genetics. It's in the genes, and it's not going to change. So many things are going to change. We're going to do more. We're going to do more. But when it comes to that side of things, the problem solving side of things, that inherent ability or inherent thought of fixing things, it's never going to change.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things where we're forever going to be selfish when it comes to. With your wife, it's different. You've signed to you went to court, you signed, I'm going to tell her everything. With your partner, there is stuff that I don't tell my mom. There's stuff that
I mean, it's very normal.
I don't tell my sisters. There's stuff that I don't even tell myself. I just act upon them.
Come on, doctor.
Anyways, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there's things like that, and we still have all these questions and these doubts. I've been a doctor for 8 years and I still doubt myself. So
Yeah. That's a long time.
Well, when I fix it, I'm going to CC you. I'll CC you on that email thread.
Well, all right. I mean, we're coming to the end. I don't know if do you have anything else to add, or that was it?
well, I haven't got anything more. I think we've had a very interesting session in it.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that we're going to have just this one for now. But one thing I know is I'm going to come back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have more.
Yes.
There's a lot more that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that I want to talk about, but because of time,
yeah,
because of
other
I'm a
commitments.
I'm a politician, and I'll mention those things after the elections in October. Is it November or December?
It's in October.
In October, yeah. I'm going to talk about those things. There are some things that I'm waiting for for children's leg to get black before I can say anything. There is so many things to talk about, and it's good because it's a learning experience. When you talk about things like this, you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about things that how people think, how people perceive things.
Yeah.
Because perceptions, sometimes we get caught up in our own world that we think our perception is the right one.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're probably just absurd or abstract and living in your own deranged kind of thinking and out of touch with reality. But then when you talk about things like this, you find yourself in a situation where you become a better person by just talking about things like this and putting things out there, putting yourself in harm's way, putting yourself in crossbows. You're going to catch so many stray bullets. I know I will. And and yeah, it's things like that, and we learn every day. I think as humans, what we do every day is we learn from our experiences, we learn from our mistakes, we learn from our wins, we learn from our successes. We put all these things together and try to be a better version of ourselves. Do we succeed always?
No. Yeah.
We fail more times than we succeed.
Yeah.
But we never stop trying.
Sure.
And to my mom, I'll get married.
I'm waiting for my invitation.
Oh yes.
I'm waiting for my invitation.
I've told you you're going to be one of my groomsmen. So.
Amen. I've actually been waiting for this day. Amen. This is why like this podcast is really good because like now I just got the news that I'll be a groomsman. Last time I heard I was going to Nigeria.
Oh
next
yeah.
year.
For a wedding, you know.
Oh yeah.
Wedding,
and the good thing is, because we're all going to be probably wearing the same suit, we're going to have like a pre-marriage podcast, like an episode where I'll walk you guys through everything. How you do how did you meet? I'm like, well, I was minding my business and
she came along.
Yeah. She came like sweet Fanta,
Sweet Fanta,
yeah, but I think I'll eventually do that. When, I don't know. Probably not supposed to say this, but I'm probably one of those guys that I can meet somebody today and marry next week or next month or next year.
A spontaneous person, yeah.
So if I meet you today and you kick me off my feet, and you give me 100 reasons, if you give me 100 reasons why you should be the mother of team of the
You should
little
actually-
teams.
You should actually do that. Write 100 reasons as to why she should be the mother of your kids when you propose, and give it to her as a surprise.
Did I tell you? Did
Give
I
you suggestions to be?
did
a
I did I
romantic
ever
person.
tell you that I do poetry?
You can try. I never said you told me to do poetry, but it doesn't hurt to try.
I do.
Explore that. Explore that. Show her that romantic side of you that you don't want her to see.
I do write sometimes.
Yes.
I've not written for a while. I do write. I do that. You know, when Steko was proposing to, when he read his stuff, I was like, Steko, why on earth did this thing not pass through me before I read it? I'm going to do that. That's something that I would do.
Yeah, I'm just giving ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well, Mr. Deland, you got 2 words, so keep our word.
Well, Dr. Tim, first of all, thank you very much for the episode. It was a very good conversation, and thank you to Badu. You know, as my friend will say it, make sure that you are not with bad people. If you are not in relationships with bad people, my friend Chi will say it. So run away from bad people in relationships, so that they don't give you PTSD as they did with Doctor and with Bado here. But then again, hopefully,
sounding like someone who was not happy to they will serve your own on top platter.
It's give and take.
Let's give and take. Yeah.
You've been on the giving end. You've been on the receiving end.
I've not been on the giving end.
It's karma. I've been on the giving end. I've been on the receiving end. So I cannot complain.
Yeah. So you have had your cake.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have eaten it again.
I've eaten it back.
You've eaten your cake and had it back.
Eat your cake and had it back.
And giving it away.
Well,
So.
If we continue chit chatting, we'll probably keep chit chatting for the next 2 hours again. But guys, like I always say, I do appreciate all the support. I do appreciate you guys tuning in every week or 2 weeks to listen to us. Hopefully, like I always say, you get a chance to get featured. Dr. Tim is one of our viewers, he's one of our listeners, and he's here today. Like, we're absolutely open to like having that conversation as a family. But if this is your first time, I always say remember to subscribe, like the video, share the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and also follow our social media pages at Reality on Repeat _podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Hit the subscribe button. That's what you're saying, right? Great. Yeah. Hit the subscribe button and see you guys in our next episode.